Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cop Talk. My name is Kevin Schroeder, retired NYPD detective, and I'm here with retired NYPD captain, my co-host, Ed Mamet.
Hello, WABC listeners. Here we are again for another episode of Cop Talk.
So today's guest on Cop Talk is a longtime friend of mine, a longtime friend of law enforcement as well. He's a lifelong New Yorker, Bronx guy, New Rochelle, strong supporter of law enforcement throughout the country, especially NYPD, which many people may not know. He's also he's a legendary TV mobster. He plays Big Pussy in The Sopranos, a long-running show. He also does some nightclub work, and with Renegades Theater, he's the co-founder of Renegades Theater with Maureen Vincent, and they run a acting class in HB Studios downtown, Maureen Vincent and Vincent Pastore. So I'd like to introduce our guest right now, Vincent Big Pussy Pastore. Welcome.
Kevin, it's Pastore. My father, when he came over, my grandfather, when they came over from Naples, and they moved to Hell's Kitchen, it was the Port Authority was tenements down there. It wasn't the Port Authority, and Daddy was living down there. Then they moved to Arthur Avenue. And they were getting a hard time working with the vowel at the end, Pastore, like a Sante. So Daddy said it's Pastore. He dropped the E. He didn't take the E away, but he never pronounced it again. And they didn't teach me Italian.
Okay, well, getting back to Hell's Kitchen, I grew up, my family's from Hell's Kitchen. I didn't realize that I know you a long time, I didn't realize you were originally your family was from Hell's Kitchen.
You grew up in Hell's Kitchen?
Yeah. Yep. 10th Avenue. Yep.
With all the Westies.
Anyway, moving along here. So, Vinny, why don't you tell everyone, how'd you start your career? How'd you get into acting? How'd you become so famous and fame and fortune? How did this all happen?
Well, it was kind of, when I tell stories, it's like I'm walking up 9th Avenue. And I'm going on an audition back in the day, and who's walking down 9th Avenue? This is true. It was little Steven, and he had the do-rag on, and he's looking at me because I think he recognized me from Gotti. It was right after Gotti. And he goes, hey. And I said, hey. And I never met Steven before that. About 3 months later, me and Steven are sitting at a table with the cast of season 1 of The Sopranos, and we're reading, and he already knew Sirico very well, Tony. And Tony said, Steven? I said, I know who he is. And me and Steven, that's when we became close, right from that day, when we met on The Sopranos. And then, he took care of me, and he let me go backstage at all the concerts, blah, blah, blah. And the rest is history. But that's how I met Steven.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah. I never saw an E Street concert until they had a collaboration when Bruce went back with E Street and Little Steven when we were doing season 1. And I don't know how he did it. He was doing concerts at night, Indianapolis, whatever, getting on a plane and arriving on the set at Silver Cup in Queens by 7:30 in the morning and put his wig on. Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow. I've been at a few Bruce Springsteen concerts, to see Stevie perform, and you and Maureen Vincent would be dancing in the audience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Well, if you go with Maureen, you sit close and personal. I was sitting at MetLife, and his mother, Bruce's mother, was like sitting right in front of me. You can't get better seats than that.
Right.
Right.
And
then when we went to Washington, my granddaughter, 11 years old, she wants to see Bruce Springsteen. That's the second time she saw him. But they took care of us. They gave us great seats, and
right.
Imagine you're 11 years old and you're meeting these guys. So
yeah, pretty cool.
It's always been good to me, and I know he's good to you and the foundation.
Yeah, and exactly, Stevie's been great with the NYPD, Widows and Children, and which we'll touch on in a bit. But Captain,
the premiere was about 25 years ago, and it changed TV forever. What are your earliest memories of that show?
Probably the impact that it did on all of our careers, because even Jimmy Gandolfini was what we call a character actor. He wasn't a leading man. You know, he was getting co-starring roles in Crimson Tide and these movies that he was doing with other actors, Nicolas Cage and stuff. But he never was a leading man, and they didn't bring any names, big names in the cast. You know, Lorraine Bracco, everybody knew who she was, but she wasn't Meryl Streep. You know, and that. When that started to work, and especially when we were all getting work, a lot of unknown actors, just, you know, it changes your life. You're walking down the street, people want to know who you are. They're asking you for autographs. Next thing you know, you're going on meet and greets. Next thing you do, you're doing cigar things for Kevin, and you're all over the place. So that's what it was after season 1. It just blew up.
When did you realize that you were part of something earth-shaking?
After I was dead.
After you were dead.
After they killed me, the show blew up. A lot of times people say, why do you think they killed you? I said, for the ratings. They said, what are you talking about? I said, they never in episodic television knocked off a leading man in the middle of the season. It never happened. Everybody thought I was going to go into witness protection, you know, and that didn't happen. So it woke everybody up, you know.
You know, the irony of all this is that you were in a program that portrays organized crime, and yet you are a stalwart supporter of the police, which is kind of like interesting for the audience to know. What can you tell us about your involvement with the police?
Well, Captain, all of my best friends' fathers worked in the New Rochelle Police Department. Every time I got in trouble, they got me out of it. I mean, we respected and honored my nephew was a cop in the New Rochelle Police Department undercover. My nephew Johnny. So the police department is part of my family. My best friend Bobby Coyne, his father, his brother, 2 of his brothers, they were all in the New Rochelle Police Department. So. And what was good about the New Rochelle Police Department is that we were all small businesses. You know, we all had our bars and our restaurants, and there were like 80 of them. And it wasn't like it is now with the 21 and the DWIs. They were all in support that we were bringing business into New Rochelle, you know, with our bars and our restaurants and the live music. And, well, you know, but there were some times when, you know, the police department always helped me out. But years, as time goes by, especially after 9/11, who would not jump on board and say, New York's finest, you know, look what's going on, the fire department, the police department. You know, we were going down there, me, Sirico, Johnny Sachs. We were going down to 9/11. I wound up getting a claim from cancer. You know, a lot of people don't know that. I got pancreatic cancer from going down there, and I got the claim. But we were 100% support of the fire department. And I think 9/11 turned it around a lot. Yeah. You know, not like it's going on now, but back then everybody was in 100% support of USA back.
Yeah, that was just for a few years, and then everything changed. Went back to where it was before. People disliking police for taking police action.
Yeah.
You know, Vinny, you've been a big supporter, obviously, of law enforcement. I know anything I've asked you to do for the NYPD, you've been there front and center, as well as Stevie Van Zandt and Maureen Van Zandt. And I know you also host our event every year, Little Stevens Policeman's Ball at the Mandarin. And I know this year, unfortunately, you couldn't make it, but you've been doing it for 9 years prior. And can we touch on that? And also the Retired Detectives of New York, where you've been to our cigar events and also been honored by us, the RDNY, Retired Detectives of New York. And you're a great guy. And can you just touch on the involvement with the Little Stevens Policeman's Ball?
When we do the Policeman's Ball, first we started out, I got involved because of your cousin Pat and Killer Joe with their band. We were doing it at a smaller ballroom, remember, before Stevie got involved?
Yes, that's right. True. That's true.
We were making a couple of thousand a year. You remember?
Exactly.
And they
Yeah.
don't,
Killer Joe.
They get involved. He brings in Max Weinberg with the band. He keeps Killer on the bill, but Killer goes on late.
Right.
He brings in Gary U.S. Bonds, and he has me hosting. And this year I couldn't host because I was sick. But what's his name?
Drew Carey. Drew Carey hosted it this year.
Came in the last minute. God bless him. He came in. And, you know, I try to be there every year. And, you know, when you call Stephen and say, Stephen, I can't get out of the house today. I'm sick. And he doesn't get mad at you because he has these other resources. And he also knows from traveling around with E Street, guys are getting sick and guys are, you know, that's happened. So it wasn't. But I'll be there next year, Kevin.
No, I know you will. And I, you know, I'm sorry you missed it this year. I'm sorry you were ill that night. But it was a great time as always. But look forward to having you back next year.
I'll be back.
God willing. Thank you.
Let me sing with Max's band.
Did you see the video about that melee on Randall's Island involving the illegals that took place a few days ago, where they attacked the police?
Yeah, of course I did.
What did you think of that?
Oh, I don't know why they're here.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. What did you say?
Immigrants are here. I mean, who's letting them coming up? This is. I don't even want to go in the city anymore. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. I live in City Island. You guys go down the corner and practice every morning. Wake me up. Down at the gunning place, you know, Kevin, down over City Island. They practice range.
Right.
I remember the good days of going into the village in the 60s and the 70s. We would go down, Sausage and Peppers, go to the clubs, see the music. You know, it just bothers me because you don't know what's going to happen now. And it's not just New York. I mean, come on, the Super Bowl parade. It's all over now.
Right.
And I don't know how you guys can handle this now. This is just, everything's on you guys. Everything's on you guys.
So you think you think the quality of life has changed?
Of course it has. People don't know the greatness of the 50s and the 60s and the 70s that we grew up in. You know, I was born in 1946. I watched movies on Turner Classic Movie. I went to see with my mother, The Robe, all these different movies. We had a great life back then. And even going into the 70s with the movies, The Godfather and everything, we had great music. We had a great attitude. I don't know what happened. And now as I get older, we're getting older, it's depressing because it's not going to, it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. I don't know. What do I know?
If you were mayor tomorrow in New York City, what would you do different? How would you try to turn the city back around?
Now you're going to ask me a question. I really would control the immigration policy because I know my family came in through Ellis Island, and so did you guys' families. Right. You came in the hard way. And I think the immigration situation has to go back to, you want to come into the country, it ain't going to be as easy as it used to be. It wasn't easy for my family. It wasn't easy for your family. It wasn't easy for any of the American immigrants. It wasn't easy for the blacks. Don't make it easy for somebody to come up through Mexico because guess what? I was watching television yesterday, and a lot of them are coming from China. What does that mean?
Right. No, we agree with you with that for sure.
What's going on?
And what about how's your thoughts on all these DAs in all 5 boroughs letting everybody out? You know, the bail reform and everything else going on, not prosecuting. It seems they want to prosecute police officers 1, 2, 3, but when it comes to the perpetrator, they let them go.
When I was 17 years old, I got in trouble for stealing tires, and I went before the judge. It was me and 3 of the guys, and the judge said, "You guys go into service or you go to jail." That's what they told us back then.
Right.
And I went in the Navy, and the other guys went in Marine Corps. Does that happen today?
Negative.
No, they say get out of jail free. Yeah. Go stab somebody else again. Go ride the subways again. Go shoot some. And I don't know how you guys are handling this.
Crazy time, Scott.
Well, in your time and my time, that was a very common way for the justice system to deal with people that got in trouble, young kids. They gave you a choice, either go to jail or go into the military. Because at that time, there was a draft, so you would get drafted regardless. So the judges would
make drafted anyway, so you might as well join up. And by joining up, like my brother Johnny, he didn't have to, but my friends, I don't want to say their names, but we all got in trouble. And when they went to the Marine Corps, they said, "You're not coming to the Marine Corps with us?" Semper Fi. I said, "No, I'm going to Navy."
That's part of the Marine Corps. The Navy is part of the Marine Corps, as you know.
Yeah. And I worked, something else, because I was working on the APAs and we were landing the troops. So I still was part of the Marine Corps. We were coming out of Norfolk, but then I got some good duty in Washington, and I took night classes with University of Maryland. That's when I started getting interested in acting. But I didn't become an actor until I was 42 years old.
Well, what you said before is interesting because in my time we were all drafted, but there was one guy who got in trouble like you, and he had to go in. He had to go in for 4 years. Also, he went into the Army for 4 years because he enlisted. Enlistments were 4 years, and draft was for 2 years. So while everybody else was in for 2, this guy went in for 4. He had no choice.
I was doing 4 years in the Root Scout. I did 4 years. I did a thing called a kiddie cruise, where you sign up just before you're 18, and then you get out when you're 21. And I did good. I went to Great Lakes. I was RPLC in boot camp. I was captain's aide. I did good. I was, sometimes they say the best thing for kids that are coming from an environment you get in a lot of trouble is going to the service, and it's true.
Well, those days are gone. I believe in bringing back the draft. I think it makes people more responsible, and it gives them a better view of the world. Getting back to your career, you were a nightclub impresario, and did that give you insight into organized crime?
With I think I should send you guys my play. Yes, it did give me an insight to organized crime because they would come in and they would shake you down. But they didn't shake me down because of my family. Well,
since it helped you in your career as far as the role you were playing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Method acting is when you immerse yourself in the role of the character you're portraying. Am I correct on that?
Acting is when you immerse yourself into the role you're playing. Otherwise, you can't do it.
All right. So, is that what you did, knowing the wise guys that you encountered during your life?
Well, look, if I was a casting agent and I was casting Goodfellas, and I got a part in Goodfellas, because why? Because I looked like those people. Because I sounded like those people. Was I those people? No, it was an act. Tony Darrow was part of that crew. My friend Tony, he admits it. But I'm not from a wise guy family. My father, guys, he did book, but he did book like the football games, small time. But he wasn't a wise guy. No, Daddy wasn't a wise guy. So how did I grow up being an actor? Method? I do a little method, but I didn't. What is the method? You got to go kill somebody to be a killer? I don't understand what the method is sometimes. They say Brando was a method actor, and Montgomery Clift and Al Pacino, all these guys are method actors, and I understand that. Like when Pacino did Cruising, he ran around in cop cars. That's the way these guys work, right? But I don't think it's necessary. I got my scripts. I pick up my scripts. I learn my lines, and I become the character. And that's what I tell my actors. You don't have to go out and kill somebody to play a killer. It's in the script. You just become that person for the day. What was hard? Like we're doing Big Pussy, right? And I'm playing a rat. Right. And then I come back and I was living in Pelham Bay, and with all these Italian guys, what are you, a rat? I said, no, he's a rat. I'm not a rat. He's a rat.
Yeah.
And even the guys in social club, they won't let me in no more. They said, get out of here. You're a rat. I said, I'm not a rat. And they thought I was doing research.
Hey, Vinny, all the great things you've done, all the great things you do, what do you enjoy the most?
Out of my life right now?
Yeah.
Being situation that I never thought in my life I would be. Running around with little Steven and having a theater company with Maureen and being a part of the 25th anniversary of one of the most successful TV shows in history. See this poster in the back, key logo? That's from little Steven. See, it says Pastor. See, what's my highlight in life is being able to do what I'm allowed to do now. It's like, you guys gave me a badge. I used the badge, Kevin. You know, how many people get a badge? Tell about the badge you gave me.
Courtesy badge.
Yeah, but I use it. I don't abuse it. I use it. If I'm in a jam, I take that thing out. Like if I got to make a left somewhere, I'm not supposed to. But not if I get pulled over for a ticket, I don't take off my badge. I don't take off the badge.
Right.
But I don't get pulled over.
Right. Well,
I think the answer to your questions is that here I am at 77 years old, and I would never think in my fondest dreams when I was back in high school, getting in trouble, joining the Navy, doing this and that I would be in a situation where I'm talking to you guys about my career and, when we have a good track record, a legacy, your family's proud of you. So you do it for your family first.
Right.
Everybody thinks that you become an actor and you want to be a star for your own ego. You can't do it for your own. It's not about you. It's about who you're going to be able to help. You know, like we were doing a Sopranos show down in Washington, me, Michael, and Sharippa. And my daughter and my granddaughter were in the audience. And my daughter said, I don't know if Maya, my granddaughter, should come to the show. You curse. I said, they curse on television. They curse in school. She could come. And she was blown away. There were 1,300 people in the audience.
Wow.
She didn't know. She didn't understand it because she's not allowed to watch Sopranos. She said, "Why does everybody like you?"
Oh, that's great. That's great. You know, Vinny, you were on The Apprentice as well.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, so let's talk about The Apprentice with former President Donald Trump.
Donald's doing Celebrity Apprentice. I think it was the second season he did Celebrity Apprentice. And Chuck LaBella, who turned out to be a good friend of mine, he does Dances with the Stars and everything, calls me up and he said, Donald wants you on The Apprentice. And I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, do I have to audition? He says, no. He said, you're New York City as far as he's concerned. So now I'm on The Apprentice and I'm working with Pierce. And I'm working with Stephen Baldwin, and I'm working with Mary Lou Hanna, and it's really great. And I win. When you're the project manager, if you win, you get money for your charity. So I was the project manager on the Broadway ticket stuff, and Donald said, "Let's set it up. We're going to give you a white check because it was for her charity." Because my wife, Nancy, my ex-wife, lost her husband, Mitchell, to pancreatic cancer. So we go down, Kevin, in front of Lamella's, cameras, and Nancy said, what's this about? I said, you're getting filmed. I hand her an envelope. She opened it up. It said $50,000, Donald Trump. She said, who's that for? I said, that's from Donald Trump. So that's the side of Donald Trump people don't know about.
Right. Yep. Wow, that's a great story. Wow.
You know, and we were Matt Lauer's roast. He called me over and he says, "Come here, I want you to meet the president of NBC. We're doing a 2-hour special with your show." I said, and at the end they did the Sopranos song. So he was always my friend. I always respected him that he put me on his show and he gave me a break like that. You know, that was great coverage. About his politics now. Right now, I tell you something, the way things are going, I'm leaning more towards Donald again. I swear to God, because I don't think we're going to get out of this situation with the politicians we have in office right now. I think and I know our friends are going to get a little upset about me saying this, but I think the United States needs to get back and lock up the borders and take care of its own. Yeah. I mean, you got a big coming in from China, right?
Yeah, we agree. It's like the world is upside down right now, Captain.
Donald Trump is a great supporter of law enforcement, and that's what we like about him. He has plans to make the police visible again, give them, make sure they have the authority to do what they were supposed to do, and that's one part of his program that we appreciate. I don't know if you're aware of it, but he has made proposals probably that he would do quite quickly after he takes office. One other thing I want to mention, you said you grew up in New Rochelle. Are you aware that the police commissioner for a number of years came from the New York City Police Department, Pat Carroll?
Carrie?
Pat Carroll.
Carroll or Carrie?
Carroll. Patrick Carroll.
Carroll?
Yes.
He came out of New Rochelle?
He came out of the New York City Police Department. After he retired, he became the police commissioner of New Rochelle for a number of years. He retired about 3 or 4 years ago.
I moved out of New Rochelle 87. I moved to Pelham Bay. And then I moved over here to City Island. Yeah, but, prior to me moving to Pelham Bay, I was pretty active with but I didn't know him. No, I knew. There was one cop that was in a TV show.
Well, he probably came after you moved. I think he retired in the '90s, in the mid '90s. But he was there for about 10 years. He did a very good job.
Yeah.
So, Vinny, what's up? What's up and coming? What's up next for you?
I got a show tomorrow night up in Pleasantville, New York, where Pace Colleges is a bar up there called The Garage, and I'm going up with my band. One of my musicians passed away, Kevin, so we're having a big tribute to him tomorrow night.
If anyone wanted to get involved or go up there or contribute, how would they go about that?
Anybody wants to come to The Garage, it's up in Pleasantville. You can just pay $20, come in, and there's going to be a lot of great music from 8 to 10:30. I'm also down at the Cutting Room. I know you come to the Cutting Room occasionally. You're
Yes.
down to yourself. I'm down in May 2nd, and then I move around. I do the Wonder Bar. I do a show at the Wonder Bar every November for the veterans.
Oh, nice.
Every November, without fail, for the Vietnam veterans of New Jersey.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Vietnam, that was my era.
Is Killer Joe and Pat Ruman going to be playing with you at the Cutter Room?
I don't go anywhere without Killer. Now he drives me around.
That's great. Well, you got Steve too, But
Stevie's not into rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's better for me to play Killer. What time you picking me up? 5:30. We go up there. He sings. He takes me home. He's happy. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I bring Stevie to an event like that. He's like got a puss on his face all night. He can't wait to go home.
Yeah. Well, this summer we got to get you out to the Hamptons and play at Fins and Forks. It's owned by some detectives out there, and we got to get you out there.
What's it called?
Fins and Forks out in Hampton Bays.
Somebody asked me to do that place.
Yeah, you're going to be out there. We're going to see you out there this summer for sure. Yep.
Killer plays there, doesn't he?
Yes. Killer Joe plays there. Yes, he does. But you'll be out there this year as well.
All right, what up, bro?
So how can people follow you?
Computer guy's not here yet.
How can people follow you?
Well, I'm on Facebook, social media. You see all my pictures and everything on my Facebook. I'm on Instagram, but I don't know how to do it. Stevie knows how to do it. And, the truth is, guys, is I'm trying to lay low as I get older.
Yeah. No, Yeah, well, you're doing a great job. You've been doing a great job for years, and keep doing what you're doing. And, Vinny, it's a pleasure to be a friend of yours, and it's an honor. And I love the work that you do for the veterans as well as everyone that wears the blue uniform, NYPD, and throughout the country. National, all our law enforcement personnel. Captain,
Do you have a date? Do you have a date for next December yet with the PBA dance?
No, it's usually around the 19, 20, 21st of December.
Let me know, because Stevie gets so busy, he forgets to tell me.
Yeah.
He forgets to tell me.
I know. Well, I think he's going back on tour, I think in March, and then he'll be back in July or August, you know. But we're also going to have a golf outing this year. We had it last year, Little Stevens Policeman's Ball golf outing. It was our first one last year, and it was very successful. And hopefully you're around to attend that. And Stevie came last year. We auctioned off some guitars. It was great turnout. And it was the first one.
Play golf?
I'm sorry?
Did Steven play golf?
No. Stevie came there for the presentations and the dinner.
Because he used to play golf a lot, but he don't want to play no more. He used to play golf a lot.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think he threw his bags in the water.
Well, I'll have to bring some clubs for him for next year. You know, actually, I say next year. It's actually this September. We don't have a date yet, but I'll keep you posted. You know, but Vinny, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and you know, we hope to have you again soon. And thank you for being on an episode of Cop Talk. Everyone, Vincent, Big Pussy Pastore. Okay, thank you again, Vinny. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, Vinny. I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you again.
Talk to me, Kevin. Don't forget about me.
Never do. You're family. We're family.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Well, see, that's the connection.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, Vinny.
The connection is that how did I get close to the police department? And it all started with Kevin. That's it.
Thank you. Love you. Much love to you. Okay, and NYPD loves you, and so does law enforcement and the veterans and the military. Everyone, if you like what you hear, please subscribe to Cop Talk. You could also follow us on Twitter at Cop Talk WABC. That's at Cop Talk WABC. Until next time, everyone be safe out there. God bless law enforcement throughout the country. God bless our vets, and God bless America. Thank you.